guys, thank you so much for purchasing the DIY wreath making kit. Obviously this year's been a little bit different, so this is my way of bringing my wreath making class to you at home. So what I'll be doing is going through everything that's in the kit, so the standard, the luxury and deluxe, and then we'll be doing a step-by-step to creating the wreath that can either go on your door or if you wanted to use it on the table as well. So in standard you get all the dried fruit, so the oranges, cinnamon, apple slices, I think they're lime slices with the green bit, the cones, the lotus head. You get the real wire, which is, well, it's got a load of wire on it, so you'll be able to use this again and again. You've got the separate wires, this is to wire the fruit. You also get the spruce, which is lovely, so the spruce stems, and you get the moss ring as well. In the luxury, you get all of the dried fruits, the wires, the moss ring, the spruce, and then the beautiful eucalyptus, so the different variations of that. In the luxury, you get all of the dried fruits, the beautiful cotton. You also get, as with all the other boxes, you get the string, you get the spruce, the eucalyptus, and you also get some olive leaves as well. You also, in all three boxes, get the hessian ribbon as well to make a bow if you wish. The next stage I'm going to show you is how to green up the moss wreath with the real wire, with the spruce. With this tip, I do recommend using a good pair of scissors. So this is a carbon bladed scissors or a secateurs, just because these stems are quite woody. So if you've got kitchen scissors, sometimes they don't cut as good as what you need. With the real wire, because these are new, just unhook it from the top and unreel a little bit. Don't reel it all out, because if you do that, it's less manageable. So use about a hand's width at each time. So when we're doing this, feed the wire through the wreath. So just go to near the edge, but not too near to the edge, because otherwise it won't be attached. And bring it out like so. So you've got it like that. And then all you have to do is bring it all out and then twist. So this secures the wire to the moss base. And then all you do is return the wire back into the moss, so you don't hurt your hands, she says. So just keep doing that. So you can then hang it up like that. So keep your wire like that. Don't, as I said, unravel it all. Then with your spruce, so the spruce comes by weight. So each piece will look slightly different. This is quite a big piece, and then you've got a piece that's like this. So everything's different. So what you need to do is study your stem of spruce. And I always recommend turning it on the back, just because you get little bits like this that aren't visible from the front. When you cut this, you need to remember to use all the stems so you get the most out of it as well. So with this, I recommend just cutting bits off to start with. So from the back, cut, and the top bit, we'll use that. Don't cut different sizes. So by that I mean, don't cut a piece like this and then cut pieces like this, because you need most pieces similar sizes, because if you don't cut them similar sizes, then your wreath's going to be misshaped. So always think about cutting pieces that are the same. So at the moment, I'm going to finish off cutting this this bit. And then I'm just going to cut a few more little bits, just because we can always come back to the spruce and add some more. And watch your fingers while you do this. So I would recommend popping your spruce in different sections. So you've got some that are more pointy, like so. Don't worry if you do notice some are a little bit longer or shorter. We can always cut these down a little bit. Separate your sections so you can see what you're going to be working with. So for example, I wouldn't use this bit for an edge, just because if you think that's going on your wreath, it's going to look a bit leggy. So, oh, most of these are quite pointy, that's a bit leggy. The smell is absolutely beautiful once you start cutting as well. So that's quite big, so I'll just cut that bit off. Obviously, if you do want a larger wreath, then I do recommend cutting longer, but just be careful because you don't want to make it look too like weird and leggy, and that's too big for the size wreath. And what we're going to start doing is I work from the top, and we're going to reel the wire around, so like so, with the spruce going on the moss base. So I start off by putting one piece and I lie it on the moss, because the moss is going to act as a water source. So you can always dampen the moss whenever you need to. So then what we do is just go round on the bottom bit and attach. So like that, so it's secure, so it's not going to fall off. Well, don't shake it too much though. And then what you can start doing is layering on top of each one. So you can grab 2 pieces at a time, or you can go individually like this. But what you do is you next put the top piece on top of the bottom piece. So we go like that. So we're covering the stem, but also building up the middle section. With this as well, you don't want to see any moss in the inner circle, because that just looks untidy. So we go around with the reel wire, securing this. And this is why I said in the start, don't reel loads off, because this is more manageable to use. So again, we can put 2 pieces on like that if you want, and go from there. So you keep doing this, and just be careful about your shape. So this is when you can start like lifting it up, pulling it on the floor to see like what the circle is going to be like, because don't forget, we are making a wreath and wreaths are circular. And you can add a piece at a time, or as I said, together. I like doing it separately just because I can start seeing the shape a little bit better. But you just go round like so. Make sure you pull this quite tight, because if it's loose, then your pieces are going to fall off. And no one wants a wreath that falls apart. You'll notice that some of the spruce has disappeared. This is just because we're going to be wreathing up as a deluxe. So standard people, if you keep going with the spruce, it's the same way, same technique, but just keep going with the spruce. Luxury, you've got the eucalyptus, so just keep doing what I'm going to do with the eucalyptus and the spruce. And deluxe, this is what you're going to be doing because we've got the added olive. So as you know, we're just going round with the spruce and the reel wire, so attaching this around. So with the stems of eucalyptus, the beauty of this is Signoria, you can cut these off. So you don't need a length that's really long, you can go a little bit shorter just so we've got enough for the wire to attach, because you don't want it to attach to the leaves just because it'll make it look untidy. So I would recommend cutting your pieces off before you get started. So I'll just do this with the eucalyptus. Doesn't matter if you've got bits like this, you can use those. So cut your pieces off. Again, use all the stem as much as you can. Just bearing in mind that you do need pieces that aren't this short. That's too short, so don't use that. And obviously make sure your foliage is nice. With the olive, again, same as the, the same as the eucalyptus, you can cut these off. Don't forget a nice length. That piece there would be too short, but we can use that piece. I hope you've all got a mulled wine as well, getting in the spirit of Christmas. So now you've got your pieces cut off. Again, you might need to go back and cut some more off, but don't get snip happy. Just cut off what you need. Pop them in a pile. So come back to your wreath now. Move that a little bit. And what you need to do is I gather a couple of pieces together. So you can either, it's up to you, this is when you can get creative. You can put 2 pieces of the same, or you can put a little bundle together, so with the olive and the eucalyptus. So luxury guys, you can put 2 of the pieces of the eucalyptus, put them together and attach like so. So you've got it like that. Olive, I'm going to just add a little piece in here and go around. So imagine, you've got to keep imagining what it's going to look when it's hanging up like so. So just always bear that in mind. Then get your spruce, so standard people, as I said, you can bundle these pieces together, but you can keep going with the spruce like this. So eucalyptus, olive. So you've got to imagine you're doing spruce, eucalyptus or olive or both, then spruce. So think of it as like a little sequence. So spruce, other foliage, spruce, other foliage, spruce. So going round, pulling your wires tight, just so you're not losing any pieces. That's going to be. If you have any other foliage as well, you can add this in. So if you've got a nice garden with lots of different materials, don't be scared to put those in. Put as much in as you like, and you can add these in at this stage. So going round. Find some spruce. Your hands will get filthy. The joys of doing the wreaths. But it's all good fun. So keep going round. Always thinking about what it's looking like. Making sure the stems are going into the base. So, eucalyptus. So making sure the stems are going into the moss, wrapping it around. And I need some more, so get cut away. With the eucalyptus as well, if you get bits like this, always make sure that you do cut off the stem bit like that, just because it's not the prettiest. So if you've got pieces like this, I'm going to show you what you need to do. So you get a piece like that, and then add a piece like that and layer it on top, so it creates that. So just make sure that it's all looking around about the same, so keep going, like always pulling it up and looking, or putting it on the floor. If you do decide that you want an extra bit of foliage, then you can always wire up some and then poke it through. I will show you this as well afterwards. Keep going. Don't forget to keep pulling the wire quite tight, because you don't want anything falling off. Again, layering up, and if you need to, chop a bit at the end off. Oh, we haven't put the olive in. So again, it's up to you what you want. You can either go quite a lot with the eucalyptus and olive, or you can do a subtle fleck of it. So this is where you can get creative and create your own look, because although people use the same materials, everyone always seems a little bit different, but that's always nice. So now we're going to come to the end of the greening up. You need to make sure that you're pulling quite tight on to the wire, just so this is extra security. So don't be shy, still keep going. Just be careful of the bits that we started off with, like so. And you just need to strategically place your materials. So going in between with the wire. Like so, pulling it tighter. Don't worry, you can always snip little bits off. Then I'm going to add a little bit more eucalyptus. So just going in between the first section, because if you put the wire around that bit, you will make it look flat. But this is always a good place to think about where to put your bow, just because it lends quite nicely. And then I'm just going to add a little bit more olive. So with the standard one, just make sure you keep going with the spruce, and the spruce is exactly the same process. So you get to the end bit and you're adding your final piece of spruce. So it is always good to rest the wire as well, just so you can make sure it's in the right place. Pulling it really tight, and then what we do is we just turn it back on its edge, and you'll see sometimes there's some of the wires showing. This is great because we can anchor the wire around this wire. So all I have to do is you go through like so, pull it through, and do this a couple of times, making sure it's quite tight. she says. Where is it? You need your glasses on for this bit. And then push this wire into the moss. So now we turn it back like that, give it a look. What do we think? I've noticed that some of this bit here are on show, so you can sort of have a bit of a faff with the foliage, and I want to show you how to create a sprig where we can just pop it into the gap. So as I said, we don't like to see this section, so get a bit of the spruce or whatever foliage you want to use and just place it where you need to pop it, and you actually get a single wire and you wrap it around like that. Pull it again, making sure it's tight so it's not going to fall off the stem, and reverse. So we put that in there. We think where we've got to pop it, so how is it? It's going to sit, so like that. And then what we do is we go in a little bit lower than the area that we need, push that in so it goes through the moss like that, and then we just push back, and then we return, and then we push those bits in, and then have a look, and you have a little bit covered up. And again, I'm just going to do that one more time. So get a single wire, wrap it round, like that, making sure it's tight, not going to fall off, thinking where it's got to go, push it in, and then returning, and then turning your wreath back and pushing it back into the moss. Next step we're going to do is we're going to add the dry fruits and the other little details going on. We've also included another link where you can see more detail of putting the wires through the fruits. So I'll demonstrate some, but you can go to that link and click on that for those. So with the comb, what we have to do is, oh, don't drop the wire, is take a wire through the bottom of the cone and go all the way through. Again, you can see this on the video, and you can twist there. So you create a little like stalk that you can push through. And then I have to think right at the start now is think where the bottom and the front of my wreath is. So I just hold it up and think, right, where can that go? So I think my bottom's going to be here. So you can get creative, but I always like to do my wreaths so that positioned quite equally spaced. So we think of a triangle, and we go push the cone through, and we bend the wire back up. And then with the second one, I'm going to just place it slightly at the top. And the third one down here. So these are in all of the packs, so whether you've got standard, luxury or deluxe, this is the same to go through like that. So you've got those like that. And then I've got the lotus heads, so with these you push the wire through, hook up and twist. You can see this been done on the YouTube, and I'm going to go into here. So when I meant YouTube, the other link has got the details on there. So you push through, you're pushing through, just don't be too scared, just shove it in. So like that, and then you return and push back in like that. And the third, I'm going to put him there like so, And then if I just turn it around for you, you can then push it down like that. So again, because they're on wires, you can move them about. So with the orange, if you pop the wire through one of the segments, so one of these, you do need a little bit of patience, but you can go through and go diagonal and up. Then you can bring this little bit down. So again, like a hairpin, twist it down and around. And again, same way as the others, push in and return. And again, thinking about where everything is going, push in. Oh. And like that. Push in. Like so. So you've got the oranges. These are my favourites at Christmas. And then with the fruit slices, you can mix it up. So you can put like an apple slice with an orange, or the lime slice with an orange, but I like to keep it both the same. So I put two together. Again, this is shown on the other video, but you put two slices together like that, pop it through. So I go closest to the edge of the segments, so like that, bring it up and twist. And again, think about your placements and your colours. And pull it through and push. Don't put it too near the centre, because if you can imagine now, if that was in there, it'd be like that. And it doesn't look very pretty. So the less wires you can see, the better. Go through it there. The smell's absolutely divine now as well. So push through. Oh, she says. Push through, in like that. And we do that with the apple slices. So don't forget to bring flour material, the slices and the fruit material through the outer edge as well, just so it creates colour going throughout the design. So you've got to think about where your colour is. So if you did it all in like the centre or into the inner centre, it's going to look a little bit daft. So just think about where you're placing your materials. So you can do this like that. And then again, going through the apple slices like that, and then twist. And I'm going to put one down here. So don't forget, I'm keeping this little space here for the bow, but we still want a little bit of material going. Around. And then with the green slices, so going through. And if you wanted to add any more foliage or anything extra, you can still add this in at this stage. Oh, orange, orange, we'll go here. Just making sure you return all the wires as well, just because you don't want to have the spikiness, what dropped on the floor. Red, 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 orange, 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 and orange here. like that. And then with the cinnamon, you can cut this in half, she says. Oh, strength. And with your string, you can tie together. So wrap the string around. I'll do that again for you. Is wrap it around to secure them both together. So they're tight. And cut. And then get another wire. Feed through wherever you like. I kind of like it when the tie bit's on show. So you're just threading that through and twisting. And I've only got 2 of these, but because we're putting the bow in, I don't want another one in. But you'll all have enough to do 3. And you don't have to put the bow in if you don't like a bow, but the option will be there. So putting that in there, and he can go there. And now if you've got the cotton, that's going to go in next. So that's what you've got in the deluxe, not luxury, sorry. So the deluxe, you've got the cotton. So again, there is a tutorial on how to do the cotton, but you can thread through here, or if you've got a stem to it, you can attach the wire to the stem. I love cotton so much. Pop him. It's like clouds. So you will have the cotton as a stem, so you can cut the cotton off. So the cotton is in the deluxe. So it's that little extra special touch. And it creates quite a rustic look. And just pop in them through like so. So just be careful with these. Just want to make sure they go in because they're quite delicate. So there you have all your fruits in your wreath. And then next we're going to just add the bow in. So if, like me, you've forgotten where you've put in your bow because it all looks so lovely and full, just always twist it around and you can sort of see where you need to place it. So I think I found it. It's going to go here. So with the bow, again, on the tips part of the YouTube, you can see me doing this. So I'm right-handed, so in my left hand I hold the bow and then I make 2 loops. So we go 1 under here, so and bunch, so holding it like that. And we need to make sure that the other loop's the same size, because if it's not, then you're going to have like a wonky bow. And then think of a figure of 8 and we just go over again. So I'll just do that again to show you. So with the Hessian, I've got it in one hand on my left hand. This is the traily bit for the bottom of the bow. Bring it up and gather, and then bring it over. So a figure of 8, making sure they're the rough size, same size. Pull it down so you've got like that. And then you can either tie it with the string or just go straight into a wire, bring it round and twist. So you've gone over and you can twist like that. And I always add one extra one just for an extra security, but you don't need to. But it's personal choice, and I'm just wrapping that around. So when you put the bow in, just be careful where it's going to go, but I'm just going to add it to the bottom here. And I'm just going to pull, so because it's quite harder to get through, you just pull it down and push, strength, and then we just turn it around, and we, like you all know now, is just push it back into the moss and turn it back on its front. Give it a bit of a twist. You can cut the ends if you like, make it neat, but because it's Hessian, I kind of like it more rusticy. As you can probably tell, I quite like a rusticy wreath. And this is when you can have a look, and if you needed to add any more foliage, then you can. So I'll just add a little bit more just to show you. So I'm going to use this little piece here. And I'm just going to wrap it around like so. And I just think I need that extra little bit here. So like I showed you previously, is to put it, you can go on its back, so turn it, push it in, and you can just strategically bend the wire so it goes, and again push at the back. Making sure all the wires like that. You can just have a little bit of a play, bring anything bits out. I'm going to cut that bit there because I don't like it. Try not to trim any of the ends though as well, because that makes it look really strange. And then all we need to do now is add a hook to your door. So if you want to add this to your door, this is how we do it. So you can either use it with string or anything like that, but I always just apply some of the real wire, and what I do is I go pull it on its back. Just be careful though. You can add this at the start as well if you needed to. So you can do this, go through the wire. And this is really strong wire, I can't find where it, let it go up. A little bit of patience. So just pull it up there. And all you need to do is, again, like how you did at the start, is just twist. Making sure it's at the top of the wreath. Bend the little bit back in. And then you've got the wire to hang. And I hope this looks okay. And I hope you've enjoyed doing this wreath virtually or via this YouTube link. And any questions, you're more than welcome to message me, and I'll be happy to help. But other than that, enjoy making it.